Morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Let me make sure you guys are seeing me. Let's see if the stream is coming on. Hopefully, I'm going to get some starting here. Hopefully, it's starting up. Is it starting up? I'm trying to see if the stream is starting here. Is it starting? Why is the stream not starting? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Is the stream starting here? Why is the stream not starting? Oh, there we go. There we go. We finally started. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Everybody give me. Okay. Sorry. Now I'm going to mute myself. Give me a sound check, guys. Sound check, screen check. Everything is good. I want to see that in the comments before we even begin talking. Let's make sure you guys are all seeing me. Let me know if you guys are good. Okay, William, we're all good. All right. Why does this still say waiting? Okay, hang on a second, guys. Just bear a second with me. I gotta make sure because I'm at a different computer today and it's really driving me nuts. Okay, 28 watching now. All right, everybody, it's all refreshed. We're all good to go. All right, I got a great show for you guys today. I have improved the indicator, and those of you guys who are in my room are going to be able to get the new version, which I'm going to show you in just 1 second. But we're going to let everybody crawl in, kind of start the show. I also did something that I think you guys are going to find very interesting. I actually created like the components of how this indicator works. I'm going to do them in a PDF. This is the buy triplet signal. This is the sell triplet signal. So buy is one red candle, two green ones. The second one is the trigger. The sell one is one green, two reds. The second one is the trigger, right? That's what creates the green candle here, the red candle here, right? The sell buy sequence. And then the actual sequence on all of these trades is slope has to go decline. So on the buy side, the slope goes from 22 to 6, a decline in the slope, a flattening out, a retrace moment. That's when we go long. We go long on this particular entry. This is a NASDAQ example. So there are two conditions. We need slope to decline. The slope value is the first value. The price value is the second value. And the price to increase. So price goes from 72 to 77, as you can see here. Slope declines. That's a buy signal. Nice, clean trade. On the sell side, we need the slope to accelerate. In this case, obviously, on the sell side, it would be to increase negatively from -2 to -3, and the price to decline. So the price goes from 66 to 65. That's a sell sequence. We get short over here. Obviously, that works really well. So I'm going to create a PDF for you guys next week that takes this step by step, gives you like a little description of each element component, plus what I call my dipsy do trade, which is my picking bottoms, selling tops trade, which will be hopefully very useful to everybody. So hopefully you guys will find it useful. We'll have that for free download, as well as my Pass the Prop free PDF booklet that we made, 55 pages of trading strategies, descriptions, everything else you need to know about prop. All of that we're going to start giving away next week. I just need to create the landing page for it, so I don't have it this week. But that's another good reason for you guys to come join me next week. Those of you who are new here, because I'll be giving away all that stuff. It'll be super easy, super valuable for you to set up. So we got basically 10 minutes to the GDP data set. We're obviously not going to trade in front of the GDP data set. I have subdivided my chart here. If you go let me just give you a little bit more space, into essentially what I consider to be a much easier way to view the instrument. I have put the buy labels on one chart, the sell labels on another chart. So this way, you're looking at NASDAQ, you can keep an eye on where the buy setups are setting up, or the sell setup setting up. Same, same separation on the on S&P. So I'm just looking at Nasdaq and S&P today, so that we don't really spend too much of our, don't diffuse our focus. It's very, very simple. I simply put the green labels only on one side, and on this one I put the red labels only. That makes it a lot easier. I also made it huge in terms of font, so you can see it. And I also basically put the slope on the same line in brackets. So slope is in brackets, and you can just compare the slope to the slope here, right? It's still not perfect, and I can't get it to be perfect because obviously the bigger the font, the more it runs over the candles. So sometimes you can't quite see it. For example, like you're looking at this setup over here right now. We're looking at Nasdaq, just for argument's sake. This is a -11, -11. When it's a push on the sell side, where it's not necessarily accelerating, I will look at price levels as a kind of a tiebreaker. And here the price level is higher, so I probably wouldn't have taken this trade, right? Over here, you can see the price level is higher as well, right? This price level is 36 against 33. That's not even close, and it's also -11 against -6. So it's not accelerating; it's decelerating, right? Same kind of a thing here on the S&P. It's a -8 against a -1. It's decelerating. It's not giving us any any trades to make. Conversely, when you're looking at the buy side here, well, the buy side doesn't give us a setup either, because this is a 9 against a 3. That's good. We want it to be flatter, right? We want it to be decelerating. Unfortunately, it's a 67 against 61. Now, in this case, it would have worked. You could have maybe taken a hump on it, but it's obviously not an ideal situation. You're buying on a lower move, so it doesn't give you the full confidence of the trade. But regardless, I think it makes it a lot easier to follow the trades. One, by making them sort of very big, and two, by separating the buys and the sells, so you could really see the sequence. Like when I had the buy sells on the same chart, I find it to be very, very confusing switching back and forth. This way, you have it hopefully much cleaner. So I hope you guys like the new layout. Big letters also I think helps. As I call it, the boomer version with big letters. Hopefully that helps us. Now we've got about 8 minutes to U.S. GDP, which is the big event today. Let's take a look at what market is looking at. So there's actually a lot of data here. We have durable goods. We have advanced GDP at 2. I was looking to see the PC price advance, so the core PC. This is a key thing. It's not just the GDP, but it's the core PC prices, which is what the Fed likes to look at quite a lot. That prints hot. Now that went 3.7 to 2.7. Now if that stays at 2.7, that's a very, very positive data point for the monetary policy, for basically policymakers to say, yeah, we're definitely going to cut in September. So we'll have to see. It's obviously reasonable to assume that that's going to be the direction. This delta is really moving to the downside. We'll see how that prints. We'll see what it does. We'll go from there as far as the numbers go. As far as the overnight trade, there was a lot of movement. We still continue to to have a big sell-off, and then we had a huge rally. I don't know if you guys caught the rally in early Europe, but we had like 100-point rally in a matter of in the Nasdaq in a matter of 30 minutes. It was really, really crazy. Like here, let me show you some of the trades I fooled around with in this rally, and some of the trades that were quite good. So obviously, I highlighted this sequence, which was this was a 22 to 6 sequence with a higher value. You bought the 6, which is right over here. Was really, really good. Good move. Let me see if I can delete this now. Here, this was a little bit of a frustrating trade. I don't like to kind of overrun my rules, but sometimes it's not a bad idea. Like, in other words, sometimes especially after you had a huge sell-off here, right? After you had a huge sell-off, I'm just, I'm fooling around with this idea. Unfortunately, let me see something. Just 1 second, guys. It's a little bit of, it's just annoying because of the way. Is this too small for you guys to see? Yes, no. Tell me in the chat. Is it too small to see these numbers? Unfortunately, they fit better, but they're just too small. Are they too small or no? Yes, no. Because what happens when I get them bigger, they kind of lose themselves in the charts. They're not too small. You guys are okay? Too small. Somebody says too small. Yes, no. Well, I need more votes. Yes, no. All right. Then we're going to have to go to the bigger numbers, but unfortunately, we sometimes can't quite see them. So this is a 2 to a 14, right? We're looking for decelerations. This is a 14. The next one is 14. This one is 6. That's a deceleration. Unfortunately, this is a 146 against 134. It's a lower high. Now, this worked really well. And would I have taken this? I would have given this a punt because, we had such a huge sell-off that I thought, okay, flattening out, maybe it's kind of what we're trying to do is quantify retrace, breakout, retrace, continuation. This is the retrace component of it is the lower slope. I probably would have taken this, had I taken it. But the true trade, the absolute, picture perfect trade, 22 to 6, decline in slope, 72 against 77. You buy the 6s over here. This is the candle you buy, 76. There's almost no heat. Goes straight to target, right? This was a really good. This is from the 4 o'clock on. This was the massive bump. So we had this huge sell-off. Market's really like testing the 19,000 level in NASDAQ. Then we had a big, massive bump, right? 24 to 41. But then we have like a 2, right? And the 2 was an amazing buy. So you see how the flattening of the slope, 67 against 56. You're gonna have to take my word for it that those are the numbers because you can't see them in such large size because the candles overwrite them. So this was a great trade. You came in right here, 66, boom, classic buy, right? Now, where it gets into trouble and where you have to be very, very careful is the first retrace continuation usually is a good one. The second one, depending on where it is, could be problematic because the flip side of this is if you're buying this over here. So this is 204, this is 222, right? Higher highs, 15 against 26, a flattening out of surface, but it's already second one in the sequence. And would this have worked? You bought 20s, right? You bought 20s, it went all the way out to 35. So it would have worked, but I don't give myself more than 2 continuous buy-side trades. In other words, no more than 2, because the danger here is that you're kind of buying the peak and it flattens out, kind of dies out. Now we start getting lower, right? Now you have a lower slope, but it's a much lower number. You don't care. You're just ignoring it because these are all lower numbers. You're not buying lower numbers, right? There's no need to buy lower numbers until the numbers again resume. You want to see an upward, upward slope in the resumption of numbers. So the real true trade comes in over here on this side, on the buy side, right? On the other side, on the sell side, massive amount of trades. As a matter of fact, like we're looking right now. This is what, 4? This is -4. This is a -13. This is like a legitimate sell trade, right? Now we're in front of news, so we're not going to get crazy. But I will trade this with you guys if it completes. Now it's got to complete. That's a big thing. We got like 1 minute to go, so it's either going to complete or not. As a matter of fact, let's go over here to Trade Evade. And if my whole point is, am I going to trade it? I'll trade it small, tiny on on the micro contract, just to see if it works. But this is 14 seconds, and it's no longer legitimately sending us a signal. Now the news is going to come out. If it's negative, actually, we're not going to trade it because it's stupid. This is like 1 minute before the news, so it doesn't really matter. Let's watch the news. Here's the prints. What do we got? Positive, negative, huge. Ooh, durable goods negative. Core durable goods positive. Continued jobless claims 35. 2.8 against 2. Wow. Holy shit. That's whoa. It's kind of a big negative move. Sell market. I'm just going to sell this market. Sell market. Let's see, just for fun. All right, lots of vol. I took a small, tiny little hit. I'm just fooling around on this trade. Kind of hard, but let's let this candle complete because I really can't. The print was much stronger than the market expected. Maybe they're okay. You know what? Looks bossy. Let's just buy market for fun. Again, so we made a little bit of money back. Huge move here. 4-3 seconds. Big candle. Let's buy it again. Let's see if I can get a no. Too tight. Too tight a trade. Again, I'm trading very small here. Trying to follow the flow. It was a huge beat. And I think the market kind of having I think I'm going to buy again. Okay, so what I'm doing here is just I'm scalping up a little bit in tiny increments. None of this is our true setup here because we have like just massive breakouts here on the moves, and we're gonna let the price action settle down for a little bit. But you could tell that the price flow was moving upwards. So I took a couple of really small scalps to the upside. Not really doing much. On this move, because we don't necessarily have a trade here until let's go to the long side until the longs kind of flatten themselves out. So it went from 3 to 20, where it's 77. If we kind of consolidate, go down to like 15 and a 78, that's going to be a trade. If we go to like a 3 and a 65 in the next 4 or 5 candles, that's going to be a trade to the long side. For us, so we'll watch both of those. Then we'll get real on the sizes as far as those trades go. But deconstructing the data set, so it was really big. Oh, so the other thing. Oh, this is what this did not print when I was looking. This is what was so bullish. Remember, I said the price index prices collapsed, growth increased, durable goods collapsed too, actually. But although price index PCE was hotter. Yeah, it's I'm just trying to understand why it popped on growth, but what about I'm surprised about the PC. Let's go to Forex Factory. Excuse me, Forex Live. Let's see if they have anything intelligent to say to us on the numbers. No, just printing, advanced durable goods. Deflator was 2.3, so deflator is positive, but core PCE was a little hotter. Still a really decline. I guess overall market is just taking this as, hey, its growth is strong, prices are dropping. Maybe the Fed is gonna lower rates, and the economy is not kind of collapsing. So it was a knee-jerk upside reaction. We'll see how long this lasts, and we'll see if it kind of holds actually at this point. Because what's interesting now is if we have an unwind of this move, we'll start getting reds. We'll start getting like clean, clear, accelerating red signals. So we'll see if we get a flattening out of the green signals or the red signals. The problem with a different color is if I make it black, it's good. The black candles are going to make it. If I make it purple, it's just going to look really ugly. It's very hard to. The problem is that you're at the mercy of the candle. When the larger the font, whatever the candle structure is, if it overwrites you, that's the way the chart is. So we just have to live with it. It's not that difficult to to understand and read the numbers. When I zoom in on them, we'll just play it. If I can figure out a better way to fix this, I will. But for now, we're just going to live with it. So we're holding steady here, not doing much. I'll keep an eye on. I have this chart on my other screen as far as it goes. Let me just say hi to everybody. If you're interested in getting the indicator, let me preface this by giving you a direct link here to join us. And if you're interested in my coaching, let me give that link over here. And if you're interested in getting an account with Apex, which is the most important part, here's an 80% discount. I put them all up there for you guys to enjoy. So the other setup, which is not part of the setup, but one that I absolutely love, and I'm just going to trade in my other degenerate account. We can call it my degenerate buy. I'm going to show it to you because I absolutely love this setup, and it's it's really fun to do when you get when you get going. Let me give you an example. Here's a good example of this. This is NASDAQ, but I like to trade this actually on the S&P. NASDAQ is just too volatile. And this is only the buy side. It's only the buy side setup. Oh, hang on a second. I have something developing. No, it's actually it's an accelerating. If I go back here, if we go back to the to all the buy side charts, if you go to the NASDAQ buy side chart, you see it's a 38. It's really getting steep on the angle, and it's getting very steep on the angle on the S&P. Now, if you want to have fun with me, okay, the steep angle is not necessarily a bad thing, right? I like to do the steeper angle, but let's just do. Okay, hang on a second. Let me go over here to the 10 account. Let me do buy bid here. See if I can buy it. Okay. Let's see if the steepness, if we're just going to try to trade this upside momentum. Let's see if it works. I think it might work. It was almost right there. It was right there. Come on, baby. I was at the offer. Let's see if it works. Okay, so it does work, and it does clean us up. Now, this is not the classic buy setup, but post news, lots of momentum, not a bad setup, right? Because the two conditional things is, remember, for buys, you want higher highs, right? So you got a higher high. The steepening in this case just tells you that there's a lot of buyers that you want. This is kind of the reverse idea of what we like to do, which is the retrace. This is the momentum trade. Post news, not a bad idea. So I took it. It worked. It could be part of your arsenal. The very, very cool thing is that, of course, quantitatively, you can see this very, very clear, right? You see the 5, you see the 24, you see it all setting up, you see the steepening. That might give you confidence. There's a momentum trade, and you can just take the momentum trade. So, good for us. That worked out. Let's see what happens next. But in the meantime, my favorite degenerate trade in the world, the trade that I love to do continuously. Where the hell was I? I was showing this to you. And sometimes it works. Sometimes you got to give it a few more tries. So my favorite degenerate trade in the world is at least, and this is only to the buy side. It's got to be below the 8 SMA, and you're looking to buy the dips. Don't even think about doing this on the sell side. It's just the buy side trade that I like to do. So you got to have at least 5 reds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 reds over here. The first green completion, the candle has to complete. This is your trade, right? So in this case, it closes 63.25, right? Stop is 61.25, and target is 64.25, right? And the problem is that sometimes it doesn't work on the first try. So in this particular case, because you're using very tight stops, very tight targets, you're in here, you literally get clipped. So in this case, you would have been in here, would have gotten clipped, right? But then the second candle, very, very powerful, does work. You would have come in here to kind of repair the trade, and you could have done that. As I say, it's not a trade that I like to do continuously. But when it does, when you have really, really strong sell-offs, I actually like to do. You can see me playing around with this all the time here on the on the buy side over here. And what you need is at least 5 of the reds to come in. You're coming in here. This is, in this case, you came in 64.75. It literally just, the high was 66. You made target on this moves. It's There's a couple of really good examples where I see this. Oh, here's a really good example. 4, 5, 6, 7s. The critical thing is the green candle is the signal, right? That is the signal. Nothing else. You need the buyers to show their hand before you can join the buyers for the second push, right? So I love that degenerate buy trade. It works pretty well. You want to give it. You don't want to be early. If you get a kind of a row like this, where it's got 2 and then 3 in a row in between, it becomes a little bit of a push. And again, sometimes the first foray doesn't work. So in this case, if you came in here at 64.50, you would have been stopped right at 62.50. Like you literally got stopped, right? But then you can just regroup if you get a secondary trade. And the trade works really well. It's not for the faint of heart. You got to have tremendous faith in the structure. And then when it does work, it can work really well. It's a highly aggressive trade too. It's a kind of a trade where if you've had, let's say, an hour's worth of selling, and then you have that kind of a pattern, you could say, I'm going to step up and do 5, and within less than 30 seconds, you can make $500. Just boom, and so it's highly speculative, but really a lot of fun. And for those guys, for those of you who want to pick tops by bottoms, it's an excellent trade. It's an excellent trade. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about today is, so there's a couple of accounts, that I'm running. And you'll notice, I think, which one is this one? Is it the 17 one? Let me see. Yeah, the 17. The 17 one is less than $500 away from target, right? So here's my advice on how to help reach target intelligently. A lot of times, and trust me, nobody is more guilty of this than I am. When you're this close, the temptation is to get large, is to say, oh, I'm just, I'm a one trade away from making target, right? And you get, sometimes you double up your size, sometimes even triple up your size, right? And you try to press it. And if you're wrong, you go right back to square zero. I'm actually curious, how many of you have slid back? Let's do a little poll. Let's do today's poll. This is a good question. Have you ever been close to, let's say, been 500 to target and then blew the account? This is my prop question. So yes, no. I'm actually curious how many of you have done that. Let me know. So the opposite of that is to actually get micro. The opposite of that is to start trading, 1 or 2 micros and give yourself maybe 3-4 days, maybe even a week to reach target. Because the idea being is that, if you start with micros and it's not working, you can get a little bit larger. You can even go to just 1 mini and repair the whole thing. Basically, you go from trying to make 300-400 a day, maybe even 500-600 a day. Yesterday I made 700 a day. You go big for being very aggressive to try to make 70 to 100 a day. So you say, I'm going to give myself five days to make this work. It's a little bit frustrating, but it's tactically a much better approach, because if I'm going to bleed back here, the worst I would have bleed back is down to 52, right? Whereas on a large size, I can bleed down to a 50 in no time flat and be stopped out of the account, right? Everybody understand that? I'm actually curious to see how many people. Yeah, like almost half the people have been close to target and giving it back. Probably because you've done that. Probably because you guys have absolutely done exactly what I claim everybody's done. So it's kind of interesting. We got about 45 minutes to the open. Not the price action kind of died. We really don't have anything to do. It's going to be a little bit boring. Feel free to ask me some questions, guys. We'll call it Ask Me Anything Thursday, because now we really don't have much to do until the market open, and see what happens there. we've sort of, bottomed out. The topped out, we took a momentum trade post news, which is not a bad trade. The momentum trade, sort of, we had positive news, big move here. We had a secondary wave up on very, very strong slope. We took that move. That was a very clean, easy pop on the move, right? Everybody kind of understands that, right? I'm just watching everything else here that's going on. Do you guys like the fact that I subdivided into buys and sells so you could kind of see, you can see the short side? So sort of like, it's a good example here of where sometimes it's good. I'm trying to think like if it's just like no. All right, might as well fool around with code. Might do a little bit of UI stuff just for fun. Let's try this. So I want to do. I wonder if I make it into labels, will the he's gonna. No, it doesn't make any difference. You see, the labels still suck. Still can't see the. It makes no distributive material difference. So all right, we're just gonna have to stick with the numbers, and I'm just gonna have to read them to you. For me, it's much easier to obviously have normal numbers because then you can see them a little bit better. But even sometimes the normal numbers are a little hard. So this is here's a good example. This is a -1 against the. So here's one where you sell the bottom, right? And that happens. You're -4 against a -15. Definitely lower, 55 against 89. But you sell the bottom, okay? It's hopefully one out of 4. It's a 25% losing trade. This one, however, -1 against a -18 or 16. This is a great accelerating trade. You get short here. That works perfectly well, right? And that's it. Now we have like no no trades. This is first of all higher, and it's a lower accelerating trade. Now, if the prices start to collapse again, if basically this post GDP data doesn't give us any kind of a short covering rally today, we lose steam, and they want to try to run it back down. To me, the interesting thing is, does this 19,000 level magnetize the stocks? Like this will really break the hearts of the longs if after a good data set we still continue to sell off. And of course, the price action is going to show it to us. If we start to accelerate, this is all going to show us, nice clean downside moves. Okay, I mean that's fine. You guys like having both. It's that's why we have all the choices. I like having the reds and the greens separate because it just depends on your how you focus on things. I'm very monomaniacal. I have a hard time focusing on multiple things, so I need a single point of focus. That's why I made it flexible enough for everybody to to have both or one's on the other side. So I'm going to show one side because for me this is easier to read, but up to you guys. So what I'm trying to tell you is if we start getting negative, right? If we start getting negative, this will give us an interesting setup here, because the next slope is almost certainly going to be great, more negative. Yeah, here we go. So let's see if the next slope sets up, because this hopefully will be a setup for us. So what's going on over here? The slope is obviously like minus 13. You know, you can barely see it, but trust me, it's a minus 13, minus 14 slope. It's an 89 number, right? So it's all negative. So all we really have to do now is just go to our trade of 8 point, and we'll go to this one. Go to this account, and as long as this thing stays red on NASDAQ, I will be selling it. And I'm going to sell it market, because the thing about the kind of momentum trades that we see, if you get cute, we're trying to sell it at offer. Sometimes you miss it. So we got 3, 4, 2 seconds. I'm selling the market. Maybe it gets a retrace, or maybe we get a continuity. We'll see. But you know, we're betting that it gets a little bit of a continuity. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going to get stuffed on this trade. We'll see. What's my entry? My entry is 85, and my target would be 80. 185, obviously. And it looks like it's going to retrace on me. All right, so we sold the bottom. No problem. It's still it was a legit trade. We just ate the stop because the trade just didn't work. And that's fine. Hopefully it'll be only a rare move to the downside. But it was a completely legit downside move, right? We just sold the bottom here post news. Everything lined up. It was minus 3 against 17, blah, 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 so on and so forth. By the way, same price action on S&P. The S&P also kind of sold. We were 71.68, minus 3 against 8, and we just kind of sold the bottom. And that's, that happens, and it's also probably a function of the fact that we had news. And news kind of creates lots of herky-jerky trades, but that's fine. Let's see if we get a second run to the downside, or whether this is just sort of going to consolidate here at these levels. This is actually a very quick buy up into to the lows. So it looks a little bit of a bullish price action in the sense that generally you would think there'd be more continuity. The fact that they bought it right into the sells tells me that it's probably going to go higher. And you could see that on the buy side, it already actually created a first buy one, but it's the slope was not positive, so it's not giving me a signal. But you had like a little bit of a buy notice here, so you could have actually probably gotten long this thing. Now let's follow the buy side. Let's see if the buy side gives us anything. I haven't looked at gold today yet at all. I'm just trying to focus on the equities today, because I don't want to distribute. What happens is if I start looking at all the other charts, I miss the setups that I want in this. So we'll take a look at gold, when we have a little bit of a pause. So this was, this is not something that I can codify for you, but what I was going to tell you that when I get stopped out on these kind of shorts really, really quickly, I will quite a lot of times reverse myself. Like, it's obviously not a setup. It's just my own personal experience. But I noticed that, as I told you, when you see this kind of if the thing fails really, really quickly, your setup fails really, really quickly, it means the opposite trade is the really good trade, and it's worth doing the opposite trade. So we could have gone the other way here. But I didn't want to cowboy with you guys so early. Maybe we'll do that in a little while. Oh, we have a setup. I got to get long. S&P. Sorry, S&P by market. Let's see my S&P here. 76 is my exit. Let me explain. I rushed this trade because I wasn't watching. But yeah, I mean, this is a legit trade. 69.75, 6 against 26. We're looking for 76 on the trade. Let's see if we can get 76 on the trade. Maybe not. Post news trading will be frustrated out. Looks like we're going to slip down. Nope. Getting clipped twice today. It happens. News trading. The thing about news trading is it's very, very spiky, right? Reversals to the downside, reversals to the upside. Nothing we can do about it. The market's just simply not giving us the setups that we want. So we just have to be patient, look for the next one to come in. One of the things you'll notice is I'm actually taking all these setups right now in my other account. That's not the almost funded account, because I knew that post news is going to be a lot more volatility. So I don't need to expose that equity, to this account. This account is much farther away from target, so I can play with this account without exposing the other one. When things settle down, I have a better clean trading venue. It'll be fine. But this is actually pretty unusual. We had at least the first time this week where we had two consecutive stop outs like this. Like the short side and the long side on the setup itself got stopped out. So it happens. Markets will frustrate you. This is just one of those, you're right on the idea, but just the execution goes against you, because we got stopped and then it goes right back up to pretty much our entry point. Probably going to rally to our target, but not much you can do. You have to honor your stops. So here slope is getting, when you go to the charts, you see that the slope on the S&P is actually getting a little steeper, right? And the buy level is underneath the prior level, 75.25. But like, this is just par for the course. We had the setup. It just simply stopped us on a retrace, and now it's resuming itself. But we don't have, it's not a continuity. It's not a green setup, because the slope is much stronger. It's at 13. If you want to take the continuity setup, you could, but remember, you're also battling a lower high here. Here, it's really hard to see this. It's 75.25 against, no, actually 75.5. No, it's actually, that is a good setup. You know what? Okay, let's have fun with this. Let's go buy bid. All right, I bought this bid. Let's give it a shot. It was a higher high. Sorry. It was a accelerating slope, but a higher high. So I'm going to try to trade this momentum. Let's see if the momentum gods are kind to me, because the retrace gods were not. We'll see. We'll see if it works. It's a 75.50 target. Look at this. Look at that 25. Look how many offers there were at 25. They just wouldn't let it go. There we go. And and the momentum trade works. So good lesson post news. we should think about momentum as much as anything else. So here we see this was a 75-25. Again, hard to see, I know, guys, but I'm trying to do the best we can with the labels. This candle over here was 75.5. It was it went higher. The point is, if they're willing to take it higher, then I'm going to bet with them that there is some continuity movement going on over there. So that's exactly what we did. We took that and worked it back out. Do I consider the number of candles between? No, not necessarily. This is why I actually subdivide this into greens and reds, precisely because I didn't want to have looking at is there intermediate candles or not. What I'm really focusing on is price. You see, price is sort of predeterminative, right? Price is primary. If they're making higher highs, I'm going to try to find every possible excuse to see if I could go along with them, right? If I have higher highs and lower slope, great. If I have higher highs and accelerating slope, maybe even that will be good enough, depending on the context. Certainly post-news, accelerating slope and higher highs was a winning combination, right? In this case, higher highs and slightly accelerating slope helped us, trade the trade. But, what I'm always looking for is basically higher highs and a slowing down slope on the green side, and then lower lows and accelerating slope on the sell side, right? In this case, we just we sold the bottom over here, a post news, and this is actually interesting. If you were sort of very, very aware, one of the things I just realized and I wasn't aware of is where this is. It was definitely an acceleration from this point onward. But if you look around backwards, you see this is coming out from the highs, right? This was you could tell this was much more of a retrace trade or a corrective trade rather than there was an acceleration to the downside, right? Now this next move, we've kind of topped out. Are we going to get another move to the downside? That might be a completely different story. Let's take a look at this on not huge levels, normal levels. So if you look at the normal levels, I'm actually, you know what, guys? Hang on a second. Bear with me. Let me try one thing. Where's text size? Text size. Large? Let's try large. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it's a little bit better, right? This is, instead of making it huge, you guys can actually, this is the right solution. Large is still visible. Doesn't have to be huge, but big enough that you guys can see it, right? So anyways, so here we are, it's a -1, obviously not a lot of acceleration. But if the next one is like a minus 10 with a much lower low, this is kind of a double top, right? And this is the thing that the more advanced we get in analysis, it helps us select better quality entries. You're still not going to be able to hit them all, especially post news when there's a lot of to and fro going on. But continuity here will be a lot easier to pick out if we get an acceleration on the slope and a lower low. This is the right solution, right? Large is, I think this is the right thing for us to do. Large is a much easier thing to watch, to see. So just some guy, is that clear to you in terms of, what I look for? I'm much more interested in the price and the location on the chart, combined with, some acceleration on on the sell side of the buy side. So now now we're kind of unwinding, just kind of let you know. See, here comes the sells, minus 22s, 64s, right? Now we have like a legitimate sell set up here, to the S&P. And then we have to wait, obviously, because if this candle does not stay red, we don't have a setup. I'm watching on my other chart, which duplicates this value. It's a minus 14, minus 15. So it's still staying there. 35 seconds left for us. So we have to be very patient. Is this again another dipsy doodle into a buy up? We'll see. As long as it maintains its form and structure, we're going to trust the setup and take it. 16, 15 seconds left. 13, 14 seconds left. I'm probably going to go market on this one. And I'm probably going to eat it. The cells are killing me today. Fuck. Cells are killing me today. Yeah, and it's just the cells are just not making it for me. I generally don't love to sell, period. I love to be on the buy side of almost everything, but yeah, I mean, these are all retraced cells, and we're just eating them. We're just eating them. Let me wait. Let me be patient here. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm really tempted to get long this thing, but I'm not going to get long, although I really, really want to. I mean, this kind of, just a classic reversal move here, right? No, I'm not gonna succumb to the moves here. But it's it's clear that basically every sell here is a false signal because the market is net bullish the news. We're trying to sell positive news, eating the sells all the time, right? I definitely wanted to go. I would have totally made it back on the buy side, but it's fine. I'm trying to be disciplined and not do a lot of cowboy trades. But it's good lessons today that selling into positive news today. We're just eating those trades, and we need to be focusing much more on the buy side trades, which have all been working much better. Yesterday, of course, all the sell side momentum trades were working really, really well. But this is what it's all about. We trade for real. We trade the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today is a little bit ugly, not too bad. I mean, nothing deeply hurtful. But clearly, the two big mistakes today was selling into effectively positive news. Yeah. So now we kind of have to see. Now, it is definitely choppy. It's not like this. This is giving us some really clear confidence that we go higher. In order for us to go higher, we'd really have to clear all of this level over here. But we'll see. For now, not much going on here. Let's see what everybody says about the advanced GDP, just to see what the analysis is. Big pop, right? Prior quarter was 1.4, growth rose by 3.4. The Atlanta Fed now is 2.6. Sales were 2. Consumer spending was strong, but I think this is actually the peak of consumer spending. Deflator was good. That's really positive. Core PCE a little bit hotter. PCE prices advanced 2.4. Ex-food and energy 2.5, and housing was 3.3. That's still pretty rich. 3.3 against 5.5 prior. Inventories jumped 6.9. That's actually That's actually not. I mean, when you read this GDP, it looks a lot better than it is, because basically the huge rise in GDP was from an inventory build. Companies kind of anticipating demand, which I don't think is going to be there. They're going to be liquidating this inventories because the consumer has peaked, in my opinion. So investment rose at a nice good clip. That's also probably helped inventories. Interesting. So I think it's more of a mixed picture. I guess the decline in PCE measures is good news for inflation, although the core PCE was higher. It was down sharply from 7. Yeah. Basically, it's just okay. The news is just okay. So now we have an accelerating decline, right? So we have a -7 here against a -18, and it's at a higher level, at a 70 level. So none of that, warms my cockles to want to go short again on this kind of a trade, because it's not even giving us our setup, and we've gotten burnt twice on the shorts already. So I'd much rather see what's happening on the longs here if we get any kind of long signals. But so far we got nothing. Do you guys like the large is better than huge, right? You can at least see most of the time you can see it as a trade. So what do you guys think about the idea of slowing down your trade size, making it smaller the closer you get to target? If you're about $500 to target, so you don't quickly give it back. Do you guys like that idea, or do you just want to have a hunch, bet a bunch, ramp it up? Kind of curious how you guys feel about it. Large is better. So you're saying if you're $500 to target, you just ramp it up and try to hit the target. Is that what you're saying, Kat? Let's take a look. Where's my Nasdaq? I have a Nasdaq move here. Oh, Nasdaq. We have a Nasdaq. I should take the Nasdaq trade. Hang on. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit late here. Let's go to Nasdaq. Buy bid. Nah, I'm probably gonna miss it. Let's see if I make this trade. I did get it. Okay, so we got the Nasdaq trade on bid because I was really late on this trade. I should have been in on this trade. Let's see if it works. Maybe not. So what was I trying to do here? It was this particular trade. I think it was there. So yeah, I mean, we're like, see, the trade should have been here. I missed the trade because I was late on the entry. And the rule of thumb is if you're late, don't chase it. But when I'm trading with you guys, I'm trying to show you the setups. So unfortunately, I'll make the mistake of chasing it. And now I'm eating it because the entry would have been 18 and it would have been easily made right over here. But I was just late on the setup. So sorry about that. I ate the setup, but this would have been a winning trade had I been there on the timing. Today is definitely a challenge for as far as trading goes, but it's very early, and I have a feeling actually as the day progresses, it's going to be a very, very good day today. And I'm going to come back with a vengeance. Fortunately, what I'm doing is I'm sheltering all of my punt trades into a different account, so I'm not really exposing the near funded account to all this volatility, which is why it's really, really great to have multiple accounts, right? So having multiple accounts, let me give you the link to Apex. Really gives you so much better freedom. And now look at this. Now it's just, of course, it's running like a dog. Sorry, the S&P is the S&P is setting up for me right now. 35 seconds. I can't show you the chart, although it's lower highs, because I don't want to switch around. We got 26 seconds left. Actually, I got 26 seconds left. I can show this to you. Let me see. This is not a great setup because it's a lower high. It's a 4 against a 12. It's a 73, 72. But worth a shot, I think. if it holds green. It's got to hold green. All right, let's see if this works. So we're in the S&P. 73.25 is my exit. Again, not a perfect setup, right? Didn't have a higher low, but did have a flattening of the slope. So, and I'm probably going to eat it again. I'm just, clearly pre-market trades. This is one of the reasons why I hate, I don't like trading. I almost feel like the way to do it is to trade the news, stop, and then trade the open, because that's really when, this whole like post-news pre-open chop sometimes can just kill me. But today, it's not an excuse, because I'm taking the trades just to show you the setups. But this is why you see, like, this is not the right time to trade. The right time to trade is when we get liquidity coming in and people have some continuity. Like right now, dealers are just ripping people back back and forth, like they're doing it with me. They're faking it up, they're faking it down, and you're just at their whim and mercy, because they can control the flows much more before the market opens. So I'm going to eat this trade probably as well. Not it wasn't a horrible trade, but it was clearly off a lower high. So therefore, not a perfect buy up trade. And I just couldn't get it to work. It's just sitting around. Having said this, though, as you can see, the buy side trades far more effective today because the news is essentially net positive. I generally like to be much more buy side than I do like to be long short side. If you're going to sort of choose one side in equities, you absolutely want to be on the long side most of the time, because you either want to be buying dips or riding rips, because the equities are a net positive, net upside instrument. So you definitely have the better odds to the long side, but you also have to pick and choose, how you trade the long side, obviously. But regardless, whether we do well or not today, we had two great days this week. The setup itself is super good, right? And as I said, before the end of the day, many of you are gonna more than I'm certainly gonna more than recover this thing, and do well, because it will straighten out and flatten out, and it will start to show some really good profitable trades. The biggest takeaway here is that trading post news is almost always a sucker bet, except for the first or the second trade post news. After that, we should be sitting on our hands. But I got 45 minutes to kill, so I'm killing my account instead of killing time. That's my quote of the day. I'm killing my account instead of killing time with you guys. Now, so it's crawling 73.25. The buy side, clearly the news today is positive, so the buy side price action is dominant. So it is that the one thing that's kind of helping us out. Still, trying to eke it out, and we managed to survive this for like 3 minutes of torture. But it wasn't a great trade, but we did manage to survive it. So hey, I'll take the W on that. Excuse me. There was actually a good trade. Now, I was just the other thing is the thing about this setup is, yes, you will necessarily lose some good trades if you do more than one instrument. So, for example, there was a truly clean setup in the was there? I'm just looking at it. Not quite truly, but this is a 10-10. So the slopes were equal. And this is a 28 against 21. Nice higher. This would have been a very easy, clean trade instead of a very hard trade on the S&P. And here's the thing. when you're trading the scalp setup, I find it very, very hard. I'm actually, this is my last question of the day. Let's do this before the market opens. I'm actually interested. The slope is calculated in a very simple fashion. It's a normalized slope against an 8. You can set it, you can calculate the slope any way you like, but I'm using 8 period as a default, which is the same thing as the SMA. Okay, you can make the slope whatever you want, but I'm using the default as my thing. You know, I'm just looking for the sharpness. So here's the question I want to ask. Oh, just hang on a second. What was my? Oh, this is the question. Do you trade? Oh, let me end this poll. Okay, so more people than less people have blown an account. Have blown an account with $500 to go to target. So that's at least you're not in a minority. Okay, here's the question I have. Maximum instruments you scalp at once, right? And this is an interesting question because I am a type of person that really performs best when I do just one. 2, and then we add an option more than 2. I'm actually curious how you guys trade. Now, there's no right answer here. It's a matter of personality. But you know, with you guys, I'm obviously trying to find a lot of trades, and so sometimes I'll be missing trades and stuff like that. But when I'm trading myself, if I just focus on the S&P and find the good setups there, I'm almost certain to have a positive day. It's completely contingent. And I see like a lot of people trading more than 2. It's completely contingent on your personality, but you need to know your personality. You know, for you guys, when I'm trading live with you, I'm trying to do a lot of different trades, so you guys you can see the actual setups. You know, good, bad, or ugly, but you get to see the setups. But when I'm trading myself, when I'm trading best is when I just trade this one side. I mean, what I will do is I'll trade both the long and the short side of the S&P, but that's all I need to do. You know, give me like 5-10 trades in this one instrument, and I'm almost certain to be positive that day. You know, which is just a, you know, it's a personality question. So let me know. I'm actually curious, like how everybody's trading on this. Look, very few people just trade one. Wow, so interesting, so interesting. By the way, you can tell that I'm dyslexic as hell. My spelling abilities are non-existent. Wow, that's so interesting. I would have thought more people were focused on one. Interesting. Wow. All right, I got a higher high. I'm going to go long this thing if this thing holds on Trade of 8. What time is it? 9:23. I'm going to try and go long this thing. If I got the green candle here, because this is a pretty. It's a 73 against 74. It's a 5.5 or a 5.6. It's good enough. I'm gonna follow this trade to the long side on the S&P if I can get it to stay green. So I'm gonna give it the full time. Yeah, and then there's also which instrument you trade best and how many instruments you trade well. There's people I know. There are guys in my room who like literally get an account funded every 2 days, and all he does is he trades NASDAQ. He just decided to focus on NASDAQ. All right, I'm going to go buy bid, see if I can get the bid on this. Do I get the bid, or is it going to run away from me? I was thinking, I want to buy market. If this runs away, if this goes to 74, 75, I will cancel the trade because now it looks like I might be able to get the bid. We'll see. No, I get the bid. Yeah. All right, I'm in the order. Let's see if this order works. It actually kind of like ran away and then came back down. 5 minutes to the open. Trying to buy tiny little momentum flow, and that's also not working well. But let's be patient. Ah, yeah, they just basically fake this out pre-market. All right, no problem. We're gonna wait for the market to open up. Let them play it out. They tortured me enough today, so I will. I'll be patient for good setups. But yeah, it's clearly very, very choppy price action here on the moves. You see how they just ran it up and they just flushed it right down, right, right down. Oh, so now it's interesting. So now the poll has really changed, and many more people are just trading just one instrument. So now now I'm actually in the majority of just one focus. Interesting. So people started to come in a little bit, but it's a little quiet today. So you see that? Look at this. This is just it's there. You will have sometimes you have days when sometimes you have just in a way when you think about this. Look at the price action. It's all just been flatline, right? They've been faking us out. But this is one of those things where you had the right direction, but just the tough execution where it just slipped you out, right? I mean, basically what they're doing is they're just yanking you up and down around the 8 SMA, and there's very little continuity pockets. This was a continuity pocket right here, which was clear right after the news. This was literally, if you look at this was news, right? This was the only continuity pocket right here, and everything else here, we've been chasing our own tail because the SMA has been totally flat. It's also a good lesson to learn that when the SMA is kind of flat like that, that's actually, I mean, if you look at the chart, that is our nemesis. This is our nemesis, the choppiness. So we'll just leave it. Yeah, NQ is really, really crazy. But if you're zoned into NQ, it's really, really great. I do have a sell on the NQ here coming up if this holds. I'm just watching this right now, but so far, no. Sell into the NQ 1 minute before the open. That's always a fun thing to do. Let's see if this works. Nope, it's a green candle anyways. It's got to turn red for me to want to be selling it here. But 9 seconds left. 3, 2, 4, 1. Sell market. Let's have fun. Wow, it slowed down a lot. Nope. They're gonna run it. Is market open? Jesus, that's 9:29. They're just running it right in front of the open. Yeah, I fully expect to get stuffed out here, but I thought I'd give it a shot on a momentum move here. There we go. Nice. Recover it. So I restore my faith in humanity for the last 10 seconds. As I was saying to you, it's like Florida weather. If it rains, just wait a few minutes. The sunshine will come out. The trades will start clicking. Like this was a legit trade. It was just really in front of the open. It was kind of an insane trade. But here you see it. If you look at this, it's a 1 against 14, 17 against 18, nice and low. And now it's actually, I had a feeling they were going to crush it on the open a little bit because they kind of pre-opened, they started selling it off. So I took a gamble on it. So it definitely worked, brought us back. And, we get a chance to trade again, to trade again, see if there's more setups here. So let's, let's give it a couple minutes here, see how the market opens up, if we have any more setups on the market side here. For now, everything's sort of not really moving a lot, frankly. Not a lot of volatility. So we'll see if we get any kind of moves. S&P is really, really flat. Oh, S&P is actually a sell. Let me see if I can get in there. I know I'm watching it on my other chart here. It's super fast. Yes, I'm selling into the bottoms here on the open. So I eat the S&P. It's doing its reversal move on me. It's a big move here, but let's wait to see if the candle completes. Wow, a lot of chop. Look at that. That was just the first opening trade salvo, and it totally turns negative. So what I do here, and just to let you guys know, because I'm kind of trading just off my own size. What would I have done here? This was a trade where I was right on the direction. The signal was correct. It just spiked out to me because obviously first second of the open, there's going to be lots of orders that will sweep the ladder, take me out, and then it reestablished direction that the trend was actually showing me. So I sold again, got some of it back. Now, what would I have done if I was trading this myself and I was really focused? I would have doubled the size. I would have recovered much more of the trade and done all the right things in terms of the trade. But you can see right over here. Here's the S&P to the downside. The rule of thumb, frankly, is to not to trade the first 10 minutes of the day because you're going to get these kind of wicky candles. This wick is what kind of kills you. You had the direction, but the wick took you out. So if the wick takes you out and the direction remains in place, then you take the trade again and let it go down. You have to have the faith that direction is going to stay in there. And now it starts to really, really collapse, right? These are like much more advanced tactics that I can only explain in the post-event stuff. But the rule of thumb is basically you don't want to be trading. You don't want to be trading the beginning of the market unless you're really, really comfortable getting clipped out and going back in and feeling this. Because now you see now you actually get really, really good directionality on the trade, right? Now you see the decline really start to take off. And another way of doing this, by the way, which is a lot less stressful, is to say, I'm going to trade this on larger size. So like instead of trading two stop, one target, maybe I'm going to trade 10 stop, 5 target, right? Basically on micro levels. So same idea, but just on a micro contract, and that helps you, of course, avoid the stops because you can, it will retrace. It will go 70, 74, and then come back down fully 10 points. You would have easily made the target. So that's one of the things you can do. So now we are accelerating trend here, 63.75, into the move. Let's give it a shot. But it's got to hold red, and it's not, and so we have to wait, and that's why we always hold to the candle close. Now this was I was going to play this with you guys a little bit if we wanted to. This was a mildly possible buy to dip trade. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, not quite 5 candles to the downside. You could have tried to buy this at around 66, and it did go to 67. You would have possibly made this trade. Now it gets quite interesting actually as a buy to dip trade. If we get a couple more red candles, I absolutely want to buy the next green one. And even if I get stopped out on the green one, I'll double up on the next one after that, because this now creates a much cleaner, easier buy to dip trade. But that's not part of the indicator. It's just simply a fun thing to do. "45 seconds left." Don't be thinking this is a green candle. It's way too early for the price action to formulate. We could still have more selling here. Remember, markets have been pretty negative for last week, and today's whatever positive news today could just be a little knee jerk bump on the news. And generally what happens is, even if we have positive news but there's negative flow, they're going to try to sell this all the way to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then maybe find a little bit of a bottom and try to buy it. So this is like a 2-3. Okay, buy market. I bought this market because you can't really try to get Q with this and see if you can get flow. But and there you go. A lot of fun. Now, the fun part here, guys, the really, really fun part of doing this, right? If you really have some balls, is you can do real size. Like you can do 5 on this. Look by the way, look how fast it pops. At 5, that's like a 250. Like I love these kind of setups for a very aggressive setup. You can make $500-600 on 3 trades to the downside once you pluck it. And I like it in the S&P better than in NASDAQ, because NASDAQ is just too fast. But the S&P, you can pluck this and do it. This actually turned out to be, look, if you bought this, where did I buy this? Where's this thing? I can't see it. I bought it 62.50, and the thing went all the way up to 68, right? Could have been like a 3-4 point move here on just a massive short covering move. So it's a really fun setup to do, right? You guys kind of like it? Is it fun? But the thing about the setup like this, super fast markets, you can't screw around with trying to make bid ask. You got to go market, and you got to just assume it's going to be a vortex to the upside. And when it does, it really works. And the thing is that you can, you could do this with size. And if it works, for 1 point size, that's 250. 250 in less than a minute. Really, really great trade. For all the degenerates out there, this is my favorite degenerate trade. What's annoying? This is oh no, this would have retraced also. No, sorry, this wouldn't have retraced. What was annoying was the irony of life was that NASDAQ, which was right. Oh, did we take this trade? Oh, I think we took this trade. This was right pre-market. I already took this trade. Yeah, no, we took this trade. I was like, oh, I should have taken the NASDAQ trade. We did take the NASDAQ trade, but we also got clipped on the S&P trade. So no, you can't. No crying. We actually, we did take both trades. Just the S&P retraced us out. Now we'll see. Now we're probably going to consolidate a little bit. The real trend move will happen after 10 o'clock, probably post news today. But news was, I think, generally positive. Inflation continues to come down. Growth still remains positive. That's all net positive for stocks. we may even stage a reversal today into the rally. So I wouldn't be surprised. There's still a lot of the day to go by. Still lots of really interesting, trades to make. And, I think you guys will have lots of opportunity here to do it right. See how even if like this trade did not work, the next green one was really, really strong too. Again, this definitely works from the buy side, not from the sell side. But when you catch them, you catch these bottom moves on the buy side. And the thing is that looking at the market the way we do, it really makes it really, really clear when you have these opportunities. It makes it. I think this is just a great turn trade for you guys to play with. I love the I love the vertical possibilities of this trade, and it happens 2, 3, 4 times a day. You get these massive sell-offs, and you're gonna have some bumps. When you get the bumps, it really works. All right, my final codes today for everybody. With Apex, the power of having multiple Apex accounts, really, really great, right? Really a lot of fun. We'll see if I have time, but I'm gonna try and trade this back up, and we'll see if I can get it back up for you guys by the end of the day. And I'm definitely gonna try to work this account towards target, but I'm gonna do it nice and slow. So I'll let you know how that goes. Anyways, guys, next week I'll have the PDF. I'll have the guide to prop trading. I'll have everything for a free giveaway. So please, please, please join us Tuesday, Wednesday for live trading. Probably going to be and after that, I'm going to be going away. So live trading is probably going to slow down a little bit in the month of August. But please join me. Everybody have a great time. Sorry, have you played around with an app to connect account trades? Yeah, you mean like a trade copier? That's going to be after I come back from the summer. We're going to, I'm just working. I'm kind of just frankly working the setups as best as I can, because if you're going to replicate, you better be sure that you're replicating the good stuff, not the bad stuff, right? So yeah, I definitely want to do replication, but that's going to be a project for the fall for us. Anyways, I hope you guys really all like it. I'll update the indicator. Everybody can join us. Over here. Here's my link, and I'll see everybody next week. Okay, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. You guys enjoy. Take care.